It is day 2 of Governor Kawira Mwangaza's impeachment hearing, and we have that update and so much more for you from across the country. Welcome to K24 Newscut. My name is Harriet Chimeno. Sign language interpreter is Margaret Nyambura. Let's begin with our top stories. Collins Jumaisi, the main suspect in the murders of 42 women in Kware area, escapes from Gigiri police station. Supreme Court suspends a ruling that declared the Finance Act 2023 unconstitutional, keeping the act in effect. Dorcas Oduor sworn in by President Ruto as Kenya's first female Attorney General. It's good to have you on the broadcast. Thank you for joining us once again. Now we begin with a heartbreaking story where a horrific road accident along the Nakuru-Eldoret Highway near Miga, Nakuru County, has claimed the lives of at least 13 people and left 35 others seriously injured. The Kenya Red Cross released a statement this morning detailing the tragic incident. A westbound coast bus believed to have suffered a brake failure collided with several vehicles before veering off the road and plunging into a ditch. Rescue efforts are ongoing. Reports indicate that some passengers remain trapped beneath the wreckage. Authorities have launched an investigation to determine the exact cause of the accident.
Nilikuwa nimekaa hapo katikati. Sikia tu mabumps pa. Sasa inaenda tu speed, inaenda tu straight, inaenda. Sasa kidogo nikaona tu giza tu. Sasa ndio nasikia watu wanalia, nikagonga hivi katoka. Nikajipata nje ndio nikaangalia mzigo, hata viatu zilitoka kwa mguu.
Unfortunately, 13 people have lost their lives and a total of 55 injured and evacuated to various hospitals. Of those who have lost their lives, from the bus we have a total of 11, and from the small car we have a total of 2. The small car was carrying 5 passengers, including the driver.
Hii barabara wanafaa wapanue, hata kama ni kuongea na wananchi, walipe wananchi pesa waweze kupanua hii barabara, kwa sababu hii barabara ile kitu inasababisha mara mingi wanasema ni madriver ama gari, lakini hapana. Hii gari unajua vile unaanzia huko kwa juu, huko kwa mawe, gari ziko mingi barabara, so unaenda pole ukikanyaga brakes, na vile unaenda ukanyaga zile brakes ndio inaenda ikikuwa moto. So ukifika hapa chini unakuta gari haina brake. So kama wanaweza saidia, kuna mradi mingi serikali inaweza simamisha na ichukulie hii kama ni serious.
The Supreme Court has placed on hold a lower court decision that deemed the Finance Act 2024 unconstitutional. This suspension remains in effect until the court reaches a final verdict on the appeal filed by the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury. In granting the stay, the Supreme Court justices acknowledged the potential disruption to government revenue collection and the operational challenges that could arise for both national and regional authorities. They emphasized that irreversible consequences might result from nullifying the entire Finance Act if the Treasury's appeal ultimately prevails. Furthermore, the court acknowledged the importance of public interest, stating that granting the Treasury's request would promote stability in both the national budget and the allocation of funds while the appeal progress continues. Businessman Jimmy Wanjigi's defense team, led by senior counsel Paul Mwite, has requested a 4-week suspension of his plea taking to allow time to prepare a defense against charges of owning unlicensed firearms. Appearing before the Milimani Law Courts, the defense argued that the charges were brought in bad faith noting that the court had previously ordered the reinstatement of Wanjigi's firearms certificate. Wanjigi, who was arrested on Monday and taken to Kamukunji police station, had existing court orders barring his arrest. The defense now contends that his arrest was in contempt of court.
Despite the court order that said return the firearms certificate to Jimmy Wanjigi, the police decided, without any notice of any kind to Jimmy Wanjigi, to cancel the firearm certificate in order to charge him. With a lot of respect, the people of Kenya in the 2010 Constitution donated their sovereignty to the judiciary and charged the judiciary with the responsibility of ensuring that everyone acts in accordance with the Constitution, respects the Constitution. That is what we are asking this honorable court to do by asking that the plea taking be postponed for at least 4 weeks in order for the accused to go back to the High Court to draw the attention of the High Court that its orders have been violated by the police, so that the police are acting in contempt of the court orders.
They have not complied fully with the orders issued by the court. Now they are seeking to revoke again the license, the certificate, and saying now the guns that we had licensed on your certificate, you are holding them illegally. You should take plea for possession of firearms. And as my senior says, no notice, no invitation, no meeting. Those are questions we want the High Court to address.
In a historic milestone for Kenya, Dorcas Agik Odwor was sworn in this morning as the first woman to assume the position of Attorney General. Odwor took the oath of office during the swearing-in event at the State House in Nairobi, where she committed to upholding the Constitution and providing honest service to the people of Kenya. The Attorney General pledged during the ceremony to protect Kenya's Constitution and to carry out her duties as Attorney General with sincerity for the people. Ruto also witnessed the swearing-in of Beatrice Askul Moe as the new Cabinet Secretary for East Africa Community and Regional Development.
I will well and truly serve the people and the Republic of Kenya in the office of Attorney General, that I will undertake to hold my office as the Attorney General with honor and dignity.
The office of the Attorney General has been left behind in the modernization and reform process. The judiciary is well ahead of the office of the Attorney General in terms of capacities that are necessary for that office to discharge its advisory role and legal mandate to the government and to the people of Kenya. This appointment is not just about you being a woman. It is about you being competent. I am very confident that on account of competence and ability to deliver, you deserve to serve in this position.
The National Assembly and the Senate Standing Committee on Administration and National Security have approved the nomination of Douglas Kanja as Police Inspector General. The development follows a recommendation by a joint committee of Parliament that vetted Kanja last week. With the endorsement, Kanja now awaits approval by the National Assembly to become the country's new IG.
that the Senate adopts the joint report of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Affairs of the National Assembly and the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations of the Senate on the approval hearing for the nominee to the position of Inspector General of the National Police Service, laid on the table of the Senate on Monday, the 19th of August 2024, and pursuant to Article 245(2)(a) of the Constitution, Section 12 of the National Police Act, Section 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, and Standing Order 77 of the Senate approves the nomination of Mr. Douglas Kanja Kirocho for appointment for the position of Inspector General of the National Police Service. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua now says he is unaware of any strike by the Kenya National Union of Teachers, but that of their sister union KUPPET. Mutua noted that his office has not received any formal notice of industrial action from NAT and urged patience as the government works to address potential issues in the education sector. He also called on unions to consider the country's economic situation, while KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli stressed the importance of engaging in negotiations as soon as strike notices are issued to prevent disruptions in key sectors.
I haven't received any strike notice from NAT because the strike notices are filed with me here. I don't have a strike notice from NAT. I have a strike notice from KUPPET, and also there's a threat of a strike notice from the universities, which I don't have, and I have a strike notice from the aviation workers. So strike notices are filed with me here, so I don't have any strike notice from NAT. But what I've done nonetheless is that I have organized a meeting, and there will be a meeting held tomorrow with the Teacher Service Commission and the Ministry of Education to meet all these three unions so they can sit down and sort out their issues, and then they'll be able to get back to me, because they're the first call where they let them meet, discuss those issues. The President issued a directive the other day asking the Ministry of Education and Treasury to organize themselves properly and meet them so they can be. So this morning I made sure I've put all the systems in place for them to hold their meeting tomorrow so they can be able to sort out these issues so they will not be any strike by next week. So we are requesting that even if we know it is a right for people to go on strike, that there be a bit of patience in terms of discussions. My office is ready to ensure that everybody is listened to. I will bring together all the warring parties. I'll bring together all the groups that have different views. If it is the teachers with the employer, if it is the aviation workers with the employer, Ministry of Transport, all of them, I'll bring them together and I'll tell them, listen to each other, let us look at everything. But also, we need to be cognizant of where we are as a country in terms of our economics, in terms of where we are going. So that we need to have teams that will sit down and say, let us reason together, let us see, because this is our country, how we can be able to move it along.
Well, on that note, we take a very short break. More stories to come. Do stay with us.
Cheza kama wewe na cheza sita. Ushinde hadi mara 1000.